What's up to all the good people out there and all of our faithful site visitors? This is Mike Jones with uGospel.com. And on the phone for an interview, I have a woman that we've all watched grow up in front of our eyes, the Grammy Award winner, the artist formerly known as Kiki, the one and only Miss Kierra Sheard. Kierra, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing fine as well. I know you're excited because you just released your latest album, Graceland. How do you feel?
Sir. I'm very excited and I feel good. I'm thankful that it's going so well so far. I'm kind of blown away and just appreciative of everyone. I was very nervous about releasing this record, because of the transition from the last record. So I'm really excited about it, and I'm in awe. So I'm in a good place.
I know that your last album, Free, was the live album. So other than Free being a live album and Graceland being a studio album, what would you say the difference is between the two projects?
Well, I would definitely say that Free was more of a church record, churchy record. This one, it definitely has more of a urban feel to it. I think it's a well-rounded record. But I would definitely say it's different because it's more church Sunday morning friendly. This record is Sunday morning friendly. There are some songs on there rather than the whole record being Sunday morning friendly. So I think it more so caters to every person, and it gives every person something to be able to relate to. It's a relevant record, and so that's the difference that I would say between Graceland and Free.
And I'm actually glad that you said it because I just listened to the album myself and I went through it. And the two words that I was going to use was, relevant and urban. And I want to say that, you definitely killed it because sometimes when gospel artists do albums that are more so urban, it's kind of like corny. But
I understand.
but this album was hot. I really was going through each song like, okay. And then I was hearing the references from, mainstream hip-hop songs like, when you did Reppin' My God, Reppin', that's the with it.
Yeah.
So I was definitely relating to the album, and I can definitely say that you definitely did it to perfection, and I really do love the project.
Thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And, it's funny you say that about, it being corny, because that was my goal. And what you said is very true. We put out, like a lot of gospel artists will try to put out like an urban record, and it's just like, they did that in the 90s, not in this time. So I appreciate you saying that. And I'm just thankful that the Lord has allowed me to put out this piece of work because it's exciting, and it does my heart even more well. Because so many people like are on my social media saying, oh, our generation needs this, and they're not even just our generation, but the people outside of the church, we don't always want to listen to somebody crying and doing all that, and that's what I did on my last record. So I'm just thankful that everybody is appreciating the record. So thank you.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely a lane that you definitely created for yourself. That's definitely the Kierra Sheard sound. So that's like I said before, it's awesome. I like the project. Okay, now I want to ask, where did you get the name Graceland from? Because when a lot of people hear Graceland, what they're going to think is Elvis Presley's house. So I was wondering, where did the name Graceland come from?
Graceland came from, if you notice, there's a title track on the CD that's called No Graceland.
Right.
And I was talking to a friend of mine and just kind of venting to them about a personal struggle that I've had. And I was just kind of going to the Lord about the same thing and saying, I just kind of was like, Lord, I'm ready to grow from this place. I'm ready to get some, self-discipline and know how to kind of curb my appetite and, do all that stuff. And so while I was talking to my friend, they went on to tell me, well, it sounds more so like you're dealing with condemnation than you are conviction. And so they went on to also tell me, now the Bible does tell us that through Christ Jesus there is no condemnation. And then the Bible also tells us that the Holy Spirit is there to correct and convict. So if that's the case, then condemnation, if it doesn't come from the Lord, then where's it coming from? And part of the reason, probably while I was still going to the Lord about that same experience, is because He was helping me to understand, to have a relationship with Him more so than building my life or my Christian walk off of what people say you're supposed to do. And so he went on to go and say, when you talk to me about this, it seems like you're in fear of this place that doesn't exist. It's like no Graceland. And I was like, I have to make that song. That's a great song. And I thought of Alice in the Wonderland and how she was so lost, and she never really found her way until she made, some connections there. And so having said that, though this place does exist, it's a reprobate mind, that's how I came up with the record, because the whole record is a transparent piece. And even while I was being transparent and kind of revealing to people or my listeners what my issue is, or that I may have a struggle, I'm still covered under His grace, and it is sufficient. So that's where the title came from, Graceland. There's a song called No Graceland, but I'm living in the land of grace, and that's the beautiful thing about walking with the Lord.
Amen. Where did you get the theme, for the visual of the album? It's, very artistic, and it's like you had a specific vision of what you wanted it to look like. So was there any inspiration behind that?
Yes, and I think it's in I'm a Grown Woman, Beyonce's video.
Right.
It's some parts in there where she does it looks like what do you call that? It's like a double picture. And
yeah,
so
like
that's
that retrospect type color thing.
Exactly. And so I was like, I want to do that. So that's where the inspiration came from. And then, our broken TVs, if we didn't have good antennas, it'll give us a double vision too.
Right.
So I started kind of researching it, and I was like, I want to do, something like this. But then there's another piece of art where if you, I don't know what it's called, but when you turn it a certain way, you can see one image, and then another way you can see that image. So that also was a part of the inspiration.
Okay. Well, definitely dope. I like it. Do you have a favorite song on the album?
That's hard because the whole record is just my favorite. Right. Yes. The only favorite song that I have on there is Go. But I love the whole record.
Okay. Which one did you have the most fun recording?
Most fun recording? Probably the interludes and Record My God. Because I hate talking on songs.
Right.
And my brother got me to talk on them. So
now, were you talking or were you rapping? Because I feel like it was you had some bars in Repping God, though.
I don't know what it was. But it was my brother telling me to just say stuff like this, and I said, okay. So that's what it was.
Cool. He definitely did a good job. Kierra Sheard. How much of the album did he kind of produce? Was it kind of just you two guys?
Yeah, J. Drew produced. He's the executive producer. And the only songs that he did not produce was Kill the Dragon and Flaws.
And who did you work with those two?
Flaws, I did Flaws with Diane Warren, and that was so much fun. It was a humbling experience for me because she was so down to earth. And I was thinking, if Miss Diane Warren is like this, then why when we go into gospel arenas, people act like they are Diane Warren, and people still don't know who you are. And so it was a humbling experience for me because it told me to stay true to who you are, be authentic, be genuine. She didn't care who was in the room. She stayed herself. And I'll never forget that moment. I believe people cross paths for a reason, and I thank God for allowing me to cross paths with her. I did Kill the Dragon with, I think his name is Israel and Justin Brooks. He wrote the song with Vincent Berry. So it's been really cool, really good.
Did you work with Babyface on this project? Because I know, like I was saying, I followed you on Instagram, and I had saw you was putting the pictures up with him in the studio, but we kind of never knew what project that was for.
Right. We were supposed to work together, and I ended up working with his protege. Yeah, so that's how that ended up.
Okay.
Yeah, it was still a great experience. So I'm sorry, Tony Dixon, I did work with as well, and Stephen Collins out of San Antonio, Texas, did MU. Oh, and Harmony Samuels. I'm sorry.
Right.
Harmony Samuels on Save Me. And, so that's it.
Like I said before, this album is definitely awesome. I believe that it debuted at #1 on iTunes already. We're going to have to wait until next week to see what it does on Billboard, but I'm sure that it's most likely going to be #1, for real.
Thank you so much. And thank you for listening.
No problem. It was my pleasure. But not done yet. I want to talk about Sunday Best. What is that like to be one of the judges? Because, sometimes you have to tell people no, and then you kind of feel bad. So I just sort of put you in that position where you could potentially make somebody's career or shut somebody down.
It was tough, but I learned my ways to do it. And my nana always told me, if you don't got nothing good to say, then don't say it at all. but in every person you should be able to find something good about them. And so that's what I've been doing. And I like to be told the truth, but I like to be told the truth with love. Don't try to beat me up. And, you know, on Sunday best, that's what I intended to do. And my mom, my parents, my father, like the other day it was Sunday I came home, and he said, you did good on your TV performance, but that skirt was a little too short. It showed the meat of your thighs. He said, but you did really good. And so that's where I get my critiques from. And I was able to receive that because I know my dad, and even if I didn't know him, it was just a sense of love that he gave while he was giving his critique. And he just said, you know, just be a little bit more conscious of it. And so having said that, that's what I try to do on Sunday Best is, you know, tell them, hey, I don't think this is your calling, but I think this might be your calling because you speak so well. And you may be able to teach people, you know, or I don't think this is your calling, but you may not be called to have a record out, but you may be called to do, you know, something in your church home or write music for your choir or your praise and worship. There's so many other elements that we can get involved in with the gift of singing that makes the world go round, you know? So,
what do you think is like the problem that some of the people who don't make it have, like something that you notice a lot of people have wrong with their audition?
A few of them that make it further towards the end, they're very versatile. Like it's some people that can sing a ballad and it'd be like a Cinderella or a Disney ballad, and they did so well on it. They didn't sing Disney songs, but, you know, the style.
Yeah, I get you, right.
And they were able to deliver that song, you know, as a classic piece, but at the same time, when it was time to go to church, they was able to do that too. And so having said that, when you look at people like Miss Yolanda Adams, she did a tribute on Celebration of Gospel, I think, to who was it? Do you remember that? Lionel Richie? Not on
the BET Awards, she just did the Lionel Richie tribute.
Celebration of Gospel. She did a jazz piece. And I don't remember what it was, but I thought that she deserved a standing ovation because she sang that song like she was a jazz singer. If we didn't know who she was, somebody probably would have thought that her skill or her art was in jazz. But after that, she sung another gospel piece. I don't remember what she sung. But she went in. She took us to church. And so I think that that's what's necessary for you to be a well-rounded gospel artist. Now, you can get up and just know how to scream and holler and just do church music, but that would be all you would know how to do. But it seems to me that Sunday Best is trying to pull out, you know, who the judges are. Not them, but what they have to offer. Pastor McCracken could do the same thing that I was telling you about with Miss Yolanda. Kirk Franklin, he writes not just churchy songs, but he can write and Imagine Me, you know. And then Kim Burrell, she sings in front of people like Al Sharpton, political leaders, but at the same time, she's at a Kojic convention. That's what makes them well-rounded people, you know. So those are things that I think that the other contestants that get farther along, they possess those things. And so I think that's why they get 5.
Are we going to have a season 2 of the Sheards?
Yes, you will. We're looking towards the fall. They've been saying October, but we'll see. We're still waiting to see what's going to happen. But yes, we've already recorded the second season. We're just waiting on the release for that.
Kierra, I do want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to have this interview with me on today. Before we go, is there anything that you have coming up that you want your fans and supporters to know about, you know, any appearances, tours, conferences, anything like that?
Yes, of course. I have a conference coming up, CRL, August 7th through the 9th, and we have Bishop Hezekiah Walker, Carl Lentz from Hillsong, Isaac Curry, Tasha Cobb, and Kierra Sheard, Pastor Jay Hazlett from Preachers of L.A., my father will be there, Marcus B. Wiley, so many other names that I can think of. And then I have a hosiery line called Sheards by Sheard, and it's in Walgreens right now in Houston and Chicago. So I got a lot going on, and I'm on social media usually filling everyone in.
Where is the BRL conference going to be at?
The conference will be in Detroit, Michigan at my father's church. But the price for the conference to just register is very affordable so that people can drive down and get flights and stuff like that.
All right. And I know, of course, people can stay in contact with you on your social media, which are both kind of easy. I know Twitter is Kierra Sheard, and then Instagram is Kierra Sheard.
Yes,
so,
sir.
other fans listening, y'all can definitely stay in the loop with everything that is Kierra Sheard. Again, this is Mike Jones with uGospel.com, and we are out. Kierra, thank you so much. Can't wait for next week to see this album hit #1 on Billboard, and I wish you the best.
Thank you so much, and I'm sorry if you heard me chewing. Everybody that's listening, I hadn't eaten all day, so thank you, Mike.
All right, have a blessed day. It was good talking to you.
You too. Thank you again.